What's your favourite biscuit for Dunkin'? I don't know if you remember, but at the start of this year, I mentioned we were grabbing a jar, a load of sticky notes, and we were going to write down, hello, say hi, we're vlogging. You like being on there, so say what's up. We were basically going to write down every week, each of us, a memory or an experience that we did, our favourite one from the week, whatever it might be. It doesn't have to be something extravagant. It could just be like Mia went round her friend's house, or whatever it might be. Just something really simple and significant that stood out to you for the week. Basically, jot it down on a sticky note, stick it in a jar, and then on New Year's Eve, which is today, go through all of them. And just, I just wanted to share that. And by the time you're watching this, it's the new year. I hope you've had a fantastic start to the new year. Good morning, people. How we doing? It is a new year. It's 6 a.m. I told myself I was getting up and I was getting my ass in the gym nice and early. New routine this year. I'm mixing things up a little bit. Didn't go to bed until about 1 o'clock. Saw the new year in. Mia actually stayed awake, which was sick because she's never managed to stay awake for that long, bless her, before. So got up about 5:45, did my yoga. Now I'm on my way to the gym. Even though it's a bank holiday, even though people will be like, oh, I'll start tomorrow, that is a load of fluff. I know it might not seem like a big thing, but it's absolutely huge in, you know, getting to where you want to be and getting to that next level. And it's just so important to remember, like, your identity is molded and shaped by the person that you are, the person that you say you are. And if you say you're going to do something, do it. I'm not going to lie to you. This morning, waking up at like 5:45, seeing how dark it was, how warm I was in bed, I did not want to get up. But that is when you have to get up. That is when you have to get shit done, because that is when you're most likely to see growth. It's always when you come out your comfort zone. It's always when you put yourself in positions that are kind of uncertain, positions you don't want to be in, because naturally that's where the body sees growth. That's where the mind sees growth. If I'd said to myself, I'm getting up, I'm going to the gym, and then I found myself not doing it, all I would be saying to myself is I'm the kind of person that says stuff and doesn't do it, and that'll wreak havoc in me in different areas. So we got it done, we got it in. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling ready for a new year. It's going to be an absolutely incredible one. I'm wishing you all a very prosperous, a very fulfilling, a very successful, happy, wealthy, incredible new year. It's going to be huge. Without further ado, I'm going to crack on.
Watch me educate. Yeah, we been could have started, but it's never late. Do it for my kids.
Steph got me this bad boy for Christmas. So I can have proper cappuccinos, my absolute fave, froth milk, all the jazz, basically a barista. Girls and that are still asleep. I am going to do some reading. Got a new book from my friend Ali Abdal. I remember speaking to him about it when he was writing this. So looking forward to getting stuck into this. There'll be a lot of value in this for productivity, but how to make productivity fun and actually enjoyable. So I'm going to go through that. Just going to do some reading for a little bit. Obviously the markets are closed with it being New Year's Day. I still did my forecast and like my daily intentions and just like my gratitude, how do I feel, my flow zone. I did all that like I would if it was a normal day. I think it's important to do that. Obviously I haven't done that for about a week just because I took some time off with the family. I think it's important to do, but it's also important to know when it's game. Lotus Biscoff, cappuccino, bit of a dunk, bit of froth. Outrageous. What's your favourite biscuit for Dunkin'? I reckon top 3. Biscoff, digestive, custard cream. Tell me I'm wrong. I was meant to share this the week before. I completely forgot. So apologies. So Darwinex sent me a graphic through at the end of the year just to say that we have had 538 people use my link and sign up with Darwinex, which is actually mad when you think about it. So shout out to all of you. And I wanted to give a big shout out to everybody that is trading with Darwinex. As you can see here, out of those numbers, only 13% of you managed to achieve allocation, and that resulted in a 1.8 million in allocation, which, you know what? Props to you guys and girls, because that's sick. It's sick to see. If you have started Darwinex and you fell off, you've not continued with it, you've cancelled your subscription, whatever it might be, I highly urge you in the new year to rethink and reconsider it. It forces you to trade better. You can't just fluke it or flump it due to the risk engine and the parameters they have in place and their leverage. The amount of metrics you can see for your system and that is actually really good. It helps you, it can help you improve. They can show you a lot of stuff. So I highly suggest, if you haven't already, or you cancelled it, or you thought it's not for you, and you think the 15% split's not enough and whatever, and I understand, like, it's another source of income. You can also, you're getting paid to build the record. You're able to almost showcase that you can trade. You never know who's watching. You never know what investors are going to come through, and you never know what power that's going to hold, provided you have that record. It could be huge. It could change your life in some way or another. And I don't get why you wouldn't do it on top of prop firms, on top of your personal capital, on top of whatever else you've got. Like I've said before, Traders Connect, link them on a copier. There's a link in the description if you don't use Traders Connect. I highly urge it. It is the best copier on the market by far. Darwinex have been kind enough, just a bit of healthy competition. They've actually created me a leaderboard. So anybody that's signed up through my link, so the 534 people that have already, obviously some of you may still be on the allocation, the training phase. Some of you might cancel. You can have a little bit of fun with it. What I'm thinking of doing, I need to think of a way to play around with it. But what I'm thinking is maybe every month, the top 3, I'll maybe like get some prizes and just distribute them. Obviously, if I can get hold of these people, I have to be aware, GDPR, all that sort of stuff. People might not want their names and things showcased, and that's fine. What I may do is ask Darwinex to reach out to them for me, if it's possible. Again, this is just me theorizing and saying, and maybe say, hey, could you give this person a shout? I'd like to give them something as like a well done. Maybe we'll make it a little bit of fun. I'm going to get involved as well. I'll be in here too. It's sick. And on top of that, we're coming with all the smoke today. Again, shout out to Darwinex, because they've been incredible. Really looking for ways to try and help people. They're innovating in the space, and they've been kind enough to give me a very special discount code for 3 days only. So if you're watching this on Sunday the 7th of Jan 2024, which you should be, because you should have notifications on and you should be used to when I post, you have 3 days from now till Wednesday the 10th at midnight to use the code Albert10, and you'll save yourself €85 off the initial sign up. They are never ever going to do a discount like this again. So if you've been sitting on the fence, if you're not sure whether to get started, I highly urge you, use code Albert10. You can save yourself €85. It's going to cost you €10 to sign up, plus the monthly subscription, and then it's rolling recurring, which is literally the price of a Nando's or whatever you like to eat or wherever you're from. Shout out to those people that can't get Nando's. Maybe if you come top of the leaderboard, I'll send you some chicken. That'll be a sick prize, although it probably won't taste very nice once it gets to you. Good morning, everyone. How are we doing? It's Tuesday morning. Just dropped Steph at work. Just made Mia some breakfast. And now we're on the charts. So see how we develop. Obviously, it's also the first trading day back, so I'm not looking to be an absolute head case or anything like that. So yeah, marked out daily in M15. How do I feel? So again, just important to, you know, be abundant in all areas of life. Remember the things that you can do, the things that you are doing on a regular daily basis. 3 things that I'm grateful for. And then obviously any external pressures, anything happen that could affect me. What's my flow zone, which is obviously a concept from Rewired, which many of you are involved in, and you should all be tracking your flow zone. And then I'll just have an outcome. So again, how did the higher time frame look at the end of the day? Was my bias right? So again, I can keep track of it. How was my mid time frames? Again, 15M, was I right? Was I wrong? And then end of day roundup. Specs this year, I'm going on absolute smoke, and I'm ensuring that I tick off every single goal that I wrote down. I'm not getting distracted, I'm not getting sidetracked. I'm going to stick a podcast on, and then at 10, I need to take Mia to her friends. I'll probably go for a walk, even though it's chucking it down. We need to get it in, 10k steps, no excuses. What's happening, people? So there was no opportunities to trade today. EU just melted like 100 pips, but bias was right, so that's the main thing. Currently in the process of making food. One thing this year I want to do, me and Steph said we want to do, is more like mix up the meals a little bit, get the kids more involved in different types of food. We're proper foodies at heart, so it's important that we mix it up and change it up so it's not always the same stuff. What did the drummer call the twins? I don't know.
A 1 and a 2. What?
It's really important to note, like, make sure you found happiness first before you go on this search of like success will make me happy, because often it won't. And like Mark tweeted something the other day which hit home. You know, it's like you already achieved all the goals that you said would make you happy, but yet you're still not happy. So what if it's not the goals, or what if it's not the monetary value? What if it's something else? And it's just something to ponder on. It's just something to remember. Like, take up a hobby, do something different with your life, do things with your life. Like I said before, if money wasn't an object, what would you do with your life? Yes, you need money to do things, but at the same time, it's like, what makes you happy, you know? Like, I like playing Call of Duty. Like, sometimes me and Henzo will jump on in the day and we'll have a couple of games of Call of Duty in the middle of the day. To some people, that's not productive, but to us, it's part of our hobby. And when we've ticked everything off and we're done, I'm kind of like, why wouldn't we? And to be fair, we've had some of our best aha moments and our best, like, breakthroughs in trading and life on Call of Duty chatting, because we're chatting about life and different things. So again, don't feel guilty doing that stuff, provided you've done all the stuff you said you wanted to do and you've done the to-do list. There's no harm in enjoying life at the same time, because again, you know, not to get too deep, but tomorrow's never promised, and you never know what's going to happen next year or the year after, and we're always bad at putting things back and thinking about the future, that we're never here and now. And you hear of it, a lot of people wait to retire. You know, they get to like 70 or 65, 70, they retire, and then they want to go travel, and then unfortunately one of them in the couple perhaps passes away, and then they're like, oh my God, I can't go and do all the things we'd set out to do and plan. And it's just important. I know it's quite deep, but it's important to remember, like, don't wait till society says when you're 65 or 70 you can retire and enjoy life. Like, make sure you're enjoying life now, doing little things. Like, I enjoy cooking, so I'm going to really work on making my cooking better. Let's see what this is saying then. Good morning, everyone. How we doing? It's Wednesday. Absolutely incredible morning this morning. It's 9 o'clock. I've done so much. Went to the gym nice and early, about 6 a.m. Absolutely rammed. Fair play. A lot of new people for January. All I'll say is, if you are that new person, make sure you stick it out. The statistics show that by the January the 12th, a lot of people tend to give up on their New Year's resolutions, and the New Year, New Me kind of dwindles away. Don't let that be you. Make sure that you've got a strong why. Make sure that you've got a reason as to why you're doing everything that you're doing, and then just focus on being consistent, being disciplined, and being focused. Those three things are the most common traits across all CEOs, entrepreneurs, successful people. When you watch a lot of podcasts, when you listen to a lot of successful people, when you read a lot of books, you realise that they all do the same thing. They're all consistent in what they do. They all understand it can take time. They're all very, very disciplined in what they do and the rules and the routines they have. They have structure to their life, and they're all focused and locked in on what matters, and they're focused and locked in on their goals and their vision. And I urge every single person to be doing exactly the same thing. Flow zone's at 9 again, which is sick. Like, for me, the last 3 days, flow zone has been at 9, and I just feel so productive. I'm getting so much done. And then obviously, if we go to the chart here, obviously got in the trade here, swept that, got in, got out for 1 to 2, happy days. Like I've said before, if you've noticed something in your performance, then go and test it, look at it, log it for a long time, and then if it looks like something that needs to be implemented, then implement it. Last night's meal, by the way, was actually fire. Like, whether the photo or the video, whether the video did any justice, I don't know, but it slapped. So I highly recommend. And yeah, I'm just going to enjoy myself. Like, it's what it's all about. I'm living a life that I once dreamt of, and it's important that I remember that every single day. I'm abundant in all areas of my life. I've got my health, got my family, we've got a roof over our head. It sounds cliche stuff, but it's important just to remind yourself of that. Don't let things like losing a trade bother you. Don't let things like winning a trade bother you. Don't let little things on a day-to-day basis, someone cuts you up or someone sends you a nasty message or whatever it might be. Don't let that ruin your day. You know, put out the energy that you want to receive and you'll get it. Anyone that's not aligned with you this year, stick them in the bin immediately, because there's too much to happen this year. There's too much potential that you're holding. Don't ruin it because of the wrong people around you or the wrong images or whatever it might be. Focus on you, do you, for you. That's what's important. What's going on, people? It's Thursday. Just got my hair cut and I am now on my way back home. London didn't provide anything for me this morning. I was bearish on the day, still am, so we'll see what New York brings. But yeah, it just went up. Price went up, didn't give me any opportunities to look at entering the market, so I just stayed out. While I was obviously trading, I like to keep myself active and busy, so I had on Stephen Bartlett's new podcast. I think she's like the lead scientist and physician behind Whoop. So talking all about our circadian rhythm and how we should eat at certain times, we should sleep at certain times. She's got hundreds of thousands of different people's data from Whoop, obviously. And yeah, really insightful podcast, to be fair. I definitely recommend it. I'll stick it up here so you can see which one it is. Watch it or listen to it if you've got time, whether you're on a walk or whatever it might be. But I think it's important when you're at the chart, obviously stay focused and locked in, but having something on in the background, I like to still feel fairly productive that I'm doing something. I don't want to stand there for 2 hours and then not have been anything happen and feel like I've wasted 2 hours. So, you know, that's why, again, I say, like, be confident in your edge, understand your edge and your system, and then set alerts or leave the chart up or have it on another screen or whatever it is, but get something else kind of going through your head. For me, it works. Again, like I say, what works for me might not work for you. So as always, whatever you see or hear online, even that podcast, ask questions of it, vet it, see how it could implement, or you could implement it, or it could benefit you in your life, if it can at all. If it can't, don't change anything. Because one thing I want to get at here is everybody does things differently. For example, everybody talks about a lot of people talk about cold showers, cold baths, etc, etc. Now look, they work. They definitely make you feel more refreshed, more aware, more alive, and they can help with recovery, obviously. But I don't enjoy them because I pay for warm water, and I'm privileged and grateful enough to have warm water, and a big part of my morning is I enjoy a warm shower. I get out of my comfort zone in different ways. Ryan Holiday speaks about every day we should be doing something to put ourselves out of our comfort zone and something that we don't like. For me, for example, I like going for walks, getting in 10k minimum a day, hitting the gym. For other people, they might absolutely hate that. So again, it's always about what works for you. I'm not saying don't have a cold shower. I'm not saying everything in that podcast you should take as gospel. What I am saying is there's information there and there's knowledge. And if you can find a way to apply it to benefit you, then by all means do. If you can't, then don't. That's one thing we have to remember. This day and age now, I think there's 2.2 million podcasts. And let's face it, most podcasts are exactly the same as the prior podcasts. Most successful people, funny enough and ironically, have the same tendencies, the same habits. And a lot of people have a similar story, right? Childhood trauma, maybe parents split up or passed away, wanted more from life, didn't do well at school, learned a different way, didn't want to abide by societal rules, wanted to make a load of money, thought that working for themselves would do that and they'd have all the freedom in the world, then realised that actually when you run a business or whatever, you actually have less time, but being your own boss also comes with a lot of perks. And then they go on their story, and what they all have in common is focus, consistency, discipline, resilience. Resilience is huge, by the way. Like, the amount of things that have happened to me on this journey in the last couple of years, if I wasn't resilient enough and if I didn't have a strong enough why, then I would have 100% given up and just gone back and got a job and just fallen in line. And I still see the same people today doing that and saying, oh, it's just life, innit? It's not for me, but maybe my kids can make something of it. No way, man. Like, you can still make a change. No matter how old you are, no matter where you are in your life, you can make a change too, but you've got to want to change. If you don't want to change, then you'll never change. And you can't change someone, innit? Like, someone will only change when they're ready to change. What I would say is tap into your pain points, tap into things that hurt you, that scare you, tap into things that, you know, frustrate you and make you angry, that hurt the ego, and then use them as fuel to get up and do the things in the morning. Use them as fuel to change who you are. You know, like James Smith said, a lot of people used to come to him female as to get PT'd, and their why was, you know, my partner won't fuck me and I want him to, so I've come to the gym to get in shape so he wants to pay attention to me. That's then transferred that when they wake up in the morning and they don't want to go to the gym, or they want to eat that bad food, for example, they go, my partner's not going to fuck me and I want him to, so I better go to the gym. Sounds mad, but those are the sort of things that work. To make a change this year, you can completely transform your life. Whether you fell off this week, whether something's happened this week that was unexpected, whatever it might be, brush it aside, pick yourself up and go again. Because if you truly want it, then you'll make it happen. If you don't, then you won't. But then don't moan about it and don't project that negativity onto other people, because it's not fun to be around, man. No one wants to be around anyone that's negative. So do yourselves a favour, pick yourselves up and go again. I'm going to get home, I'm going to wash my hair, I'm going to go for a walk, get my steps in, and then we'll see what New York brings. If anything pops up, I of course will let you know. Hello everyone, how we doing? It's Friday. It is basically lunchtime. So I took a trade this morning. I'm not at the chart at the minute because obviously I'm prepping lunch. EU long, took an L. So for the week I am, I don't know if you can see, I don't know if that's focusing. But I'm basically 1% for the week. I took a win, took an L, part of the game. It happens, we can only move. NFP this afternoon, so there's a very high chance I'm not going to trade for the rest of the week. So yeah, I'm going to make some food, I'm going to read some of my book, and I've got some Elysian bits and bobs to sort out, and then that's me really. I'm just going to wait for the kids to come home, and then yeah, going to chill out, might jump on some COD in a little bit. Also, I spoke about a pan, I think. This is the pan, it's called Our Place. Absolute game-changing pan. It does so much, oven, hob, whatever you want. It's like 10 different uses. The easiest thing in the world to clean, non-stick. When I say non-stick as well, I mean like non-stick. Great weapon, could absolutely batter some heads with it at the same time. Yeah, check them out. Not an ad, but I know someone's going to ask about the pan, so there you go, there's the pan. Slaps! All my northern gang. That is hard. Gonna get the burgers cooked, slap them on a bit of the old gravy, bit of onions, bit of parsley. Mwah! I've increased my calories slightly as well, so That's why I'm having 2. I don't know if any of you like cooking, but if you do, let me know what your favourite meals are. Yeah, Mum. Curious about that position earlier that I was on about. I'm just going to do a quick breakdown. So this was my last push, bullish leg. Once we took that here, I got in on the 5 minute here, and just got taken out. It was unfortunate. Happened at quite a small start, like a 5 pip stop. Got taken out. Went on very early in, about an hour early into the market, and we had a little push since. Obviously now we're waiting for an FP, so we shall see what happens. What's happening, people? So NFP, nothing came for me. We did go long in the end. So I was bullish on the day after that big liquidity clear out. We took out some 4-hour liquidity and we sent it. So yeah, we'll see what next week brings. Obviously, first week of the year is now down. So I would imagine we're going to see some really nice moves coming into next week and the rest of January. Obviously, we've got a whole year to capitalise, provided there's opportunity. You know, if you did your ass this week, if you went on absolute smoke for no reason because you felt like you needed to trade, you needed to make money, there's a lesson in that. Learn from it. You know, and life will keep showing you and giving you these lessons, and they'll hurt and they'll be hard. But until you accept them and realise that you need to actually take something from the lesson and implement it, or change something, or adapt something, or I don't know, if you traded, let's say you traded bang on NFP because you had a theory and it didn't work and you got your whole account got slipped, like, that's a you problem, right? So only you can fix that. It's not the market's fault, it's your fault. You made a decision, you have to accept the consequences. And it's the same with anything you do. Every time you enter the market, there's a risk. Anything can happen. You just have to accept the consequences, accept the risk. Basically taking a calculated risk, and we're building a story, we're building confluences behind it, and then we're going, yeah, I'm going to get in. And, you know, that's pretty much what we're doing. That is the role of trading, right? And it's about executing that edge and letting that edge play out. And so many people don't. And so many people would have had a bad week this week on their edge. And then next week they'll change something, and then their edge will change, and then they'll change and change. And they'll spend the whole year changing until they get halfway through the year and they'll be like, if I just followed my edge, I'd be up like 30, 40%. And that's the thing, right? Like, a lot of top traders are averaging like 20, 30% a year. And they're killing it. Have a sick year. It's going to be massive, absolute gas, smoke, whatever you want to call it. We're going on pure focus mode this year. We're not getting distracted by anything. We're not letting anything get in our way. We know where we need to be. We know what we need to do. It's about taking action now. So without further ado, I hope you all have an incredible rest of your week, or incredible rest of your day, an incredible rest of your week. And I'll catch you in the next one. Peace and love, gang.